it wasn't a stupid conversation.
Right.
Too soon. Too soon.
You know one thing
On both sides of the football, at minimum. The left tackle played bad. The right tackle.
Wait.
Well, I am certainly glad that we've got Sugar in the house here because he's feeling good. The whole aura around him is different, and that might be needed for today's show. Folks, welcome to the show that the pros watch. I'm James Brown. After a week of unexpected twists and turns and an epic Monday night finale, we have smelling salts on hand just in case Ray might still need them. Folks, the big game last night. Now, I know from a fan standpoint, it was high drama. From football perspective, give us your honest insight. Talk about the game from your perspective, Brandon.
I mean, it was a phenomenal game. I mean, point blank, period. This is what you want to see in football. Both guys stood up. Demeanors was awesome, talking about their leaders, their quarterbacks, poise in the pocket, poise on the sideline, handled themselves well after the game. It was a phenomenal game.
That's it?
That's
all the game?
I'm not talking about Baker.
I'll tell you.
Y'all do special. Go ahead.
Hey, here's what I saw.
Is that because he went viral over the last week or so talking about Baker?
Them boys special.
They expected
right now. These boys special. These two right here.
All right, go ahead.
All right, I'll go ahead. Well, Lamar Jackson, last night, just watching him, it was really phenomenal. And I understand he wasn't going against the best defense in the NFL. I don't care. He looked faster last night than I've ever seen him look in his whole career, and that's really saying something. I mean, he made some cuts. I just went, wow. Ray, thank God you didn't have to defend a quarterback like that could run.
That's right.
I did, Michael Vick.
Michael Vick? Okay. Michael Vick's not as good as him. But the narrative, and I know if they'd have lost the game, Brandon brought up a good point before. If they'd have lost, it'd have been, well, Lamar's not throwing the ball enough.
Yeah.
Look, they're a running football team. He's a running quarterback. Enhance that as much as you can. Get some semblance of a little bit of passing game. They're not going to turn it on to become the Kansas City Chiefs throwing the ball, so everybody quit thinking that. And so that's good enough to win. And on the other side, the Cleveland Browns, good pass rush, really good offensive line, run the ball, play action pass. They show what they could do. But I never had any dreams. I look at Cleveland. I was happy for them while they're playing. Did you guys think before the year that, this is maybe a Super Bowl team?
No.
Well, I didn't. So they're exceeding expectations in my eyes. So that's what made the game so great.
The AFC North has always been competitive. But I'm telling you what happened last night is because of what Cleveland Browns are doing.
Yes.
Right? The Ravens have been here year after year. But what Cleveland has did, they've taken the next step.
Right.
Right? And now they are a serious contender to make the playoffs, to be in the playoffs, and to possibly go do the ultimate, right? Raise the Lombardi Trophy. But the bottom line is on the other side, there's somebody they call Magic Man. Lamar Action Jackson. I'm telling you, it's a Willis Reed moment. Like in sports, right? I'm sitting there and I'm watching this, and I'm always losing my mind at home, JB. I'm jumping in front of the TV. Theo, stop it. But I'm jumping in front of the TV, and I'm like, man, what happens next? And then 8 leaves the game.
Right.
I'm saying, oh my goodness.
How nervous did you get?
You know what? I went to the bathroom. Good God Almighty.
Be paying him. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Listen, so next thing you know, I come back and I say, 8 come out there. I said, there are all these tweets going on. Oh, Cleveland. I said, be careful.
Right.
Be careful. 8 coming out that locker room. And for it to be 4th and 5, B. 4th and 5. And you come out and manipulate the defense because you can run so fast to come up. Hollywood hadn't caught a pass all night. He catches the biggest pass of the year, and then he comes back, and Lamar has his best game. To your point, what type of team are the Baltimore Ravens? They physical. They run the football. Lamar Jackson has to be better throwing the football. Baker Mayfield has to be better not making those early, crucial mistakes because those mistakes cost championships.
Yeah, that's where the maturation comes in.
That's where it comes down.
JB, the big thing, too, that Baltimore has, that they have Mr. Automatic. Justin Tucker.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's really.
Boy, when they lined him up,
When you're playing
should have saw sugar. I started shaking. When they lined him up, I said, come on, Tuck, take me home.
Yeah. But not to be a Debbie Downer, but here's the sad thing about all this. Lamar Jackson, what he did and what he's done in his 3 years, come playoff time, what's it going to be?
Right.
Can he win the big game? Because this is the one that counts. All those other ones don't count.
Yeah, that's right.
This is the one that counts.
That's right.
So we'll see.
In any team game, we want to make certain that all the links are together. Everybody's feeling good to deliver. How's my guy doing? That's all I want to know. How's my guy doing?
I'm great. It was a
You
phenomenal
good?
game last night. Here with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, after this, you and Phil, y'all just go hug, right? Y'all hug now. That's what we do.
A huge win for Frank Reich and the Indianapolis Colts, and a huge loss with significant playoff repercussions for the Raiders. And folks, that brings us to the topic of this segment, the playoff picture. Let's look at the AFC side of the house first and those teams. Let's focus on the wild card. Right now, Miami is in, but they have not clinched, and in the hunt, Vegas and Baltimore. Talk about what you guys expect, what will take place on the AFC wildcard race side.
If you look at where the Ravens are sitting right now, the Ravens have to win out, right? Las Vegas, to me, is the one that's took 2 steps backwards. The way that they're playing right now. I thought that they would be starting to pick up steam right now, and definitely defensively, right? You see the coordinator just got fired and all these different things. But if the Dolphins can pull out possibly 2 victories, one this week against the Patriots, then the Dolphins put themselves in one of the best positions ever. But I think the team that has to be very careful is the Ravens coming down the end. Right?
I think the Baltimore Ravens, here we are going ahead, but I think they'll win out.
Me too.
So that means Miami's going to have to win out to get in.
Right.
And, you look at the Miami schedule, they do have New England and the Las Vegas Raiders, who they can beat both.
Yeah.
They're going to beat the Las Vegas Raiders.
And Buffalo, and then they're at Buffalo.
And at Buffalo, the big question there is, will Buffalo need
Will
the
they
game?
Will they play people?
If they're in a position where they've already set them, Buffalo doesn't play their guys, but then they got to sit there and go, do we want the Miami Dolphins to be in the playoffs? If I was them, no.
Yeah. 2 things jump out to me, Vegas and Baltimore.
Yeah.
Vegas, I thought a couple weeks ago they could potentially be the Pittsburgh Steelers of 2005, right? Where Pittsburgh Steelers, one point they were on the outs, they were sitting there at 7-5, then they went on a run, then they won the Super Bowl. I didn't think they were going to run and win the Super Bowl, but I thought this team was trending in the right direction. To your point, what happened to them? And then the Baltimore Ravens, that defense. I mean, for the past couple of weeks, we've been making excuses. You got Calais Campbell out, Brandon Williams in and out, and now with those guys back, I thought they were going to perform better. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Well, with that in mind, let's take a look at the NFC wild card side of the house and take a look. Arizona right now has the final spot. Kyler Murray and company just getting it done. Minnesota and Chicago are in the hunt. Who would have thunk it at this point that Chicago would even be in the mix? Brandon, give us your thoughts about the NFC wild card picture.
When I look at this, the team that jumps off the schedule to me is the Arizona Cardinals. This team is a really good team. Why have they been underperforming the last couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald, COVID-19. He's a big part of the run game and what they do. You got Kyler Murray, banged up shoulder. When he doesn't take off and run the ball, they lose. When he runs the ball, they win. Look at the numbers. This dude is phenomenal. He's dynamic, and when he can do both, he's hard to stop.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm going to go the opposite, right? Because I believe if you watch the way the Vikings, they have a formula. They can run the ball with Dalvin Cook. They play the Bears this week.
Right.
I'm not going to jump on the Trubisky's train just now quick. Right? But when you look at what the Vikings have the ability to do, run the ball, control the clock, and if they can be that team to get in, you're right, like Fitz out. If Kyler Murray can't move the pocket and do what he does, Arizona is not the same team.
That's right.
Yeah, I have no faith in Minnesota, just watching their football team play.
Yeah, great way
What
to
do
kill
they
me,
lack
Phil. That's
in
great.
your mind, Phil?
Well, the defense has struggled. The corners have struggled a little bit. And then they have trouble protecting the passer when they have to throw. If they don't run the ball, then Kirk Cousins gets just
Don't the Bears have the same problem?
Well, I was going to get the Bears.
Okay.
I don't even want to talk about them because I don't think they have any chance of making it. I just can't see the Bears going on a 3-game run. Because where they showed us any time this year that they're kind of football team. Yeah, they had a great week this past week. Who'd they play? Oh, the Houston Texans on the road even. The Houston Texans, the worst defense in the NFL, so they had a great day. So I look at this, and I look at Arizona, the best team. I think they'll find a way to get in. It's not going to be easy, and a lot's going to come down to the Rams. They played the Rams.
Arizona have a tough schedule going.
I know they do, but Kyler Murray, they got some tough guys. I like a lot of things they do. I think they're just going to find a way to get in because of the other teams.
You won't be pleased because you won't have time to embellish it, but as you look at the NFC East, Washington, New York, who wins the NFC East in your mind, Brandon?
Washington. I mean, this team is
You
scary.
finally going to trust me?
Hey, man, listen. Washington, man. Go ahead. That's your team.
Washington.
Okay.
Because of the way they're playing defense, what Jack Del Rio can do with this defense. I'm telling you, you watch this kid. I'm watching
Chase
Washington.
Young.
Listen, man, that is a grown man.
Playing out there well.
Listen, JB.
Hey,
wow.
Doesn't
amazing.
a lot depend on who's also going to be a quarterback there?
Absolutely. I'm sorry.
Okay, look at him.
Ray, I think when I look at Washington, I just think about their offense.
What? The patience
As we head back to the highlights, we check in with the squad that now holds the #1 seed in the NFC, the Green Bay Packers. They vaulted into the top spot by winning at the Lions.
Yeah, you're going to stop hitting me with them one-liners late. I'm telling you, you can't knock off my... I got a nice... I wrote this stuff down, Phil.
I wrote that down, too.
While Patrick Mahomes might be human, after all, the Chiefs still got the win at Miami. And on Sunday, the 12-1 Super Bowl champs head to the Big Easy to face New Orleans. So let's take a deep dive in what could be a preview of Super Bowl 55 in Tampa. How do you set this one up in your mind? What does it look like?
Oh, man. First of all, let's go to Patrick Mahomes. You just talked about it. He's human through 3 picks, and then he gave up a big sack, the longest sack in NFL history.
Tied it.
He tied it.
Yeah.
Okay, tied. If he played that bad and they still won, that shows how good they are.
Oh, boy.
So now that leads me to this game and this matchup. The Saints. They got to play perfect. They got to play really well. I don't think they have a chance, but if I had to build it up, I'm looking at that defense. That defense is good. You look at what the Miami Dolphins was able to do. They're very creative. They're savvy on defense. They switch it up every single week. The Saints do the same thing. I don't know what happened against Philly, but since week 9, this has been the best defense in the National Football League. I expect them to get back on track. If Dennis Allen can build a good game plan, I think that they have a chance against the Chiefs,
you know
possibly.
firsthand, Sean Payton, let's give him all the credit in the world. He's flat out getting it done as a coach.
That's right, 100%.
How you know that firsthand? You was there 13 days.
23 days.
Oh, 10.
That's all you need.
10
It's a quick learner.
What you got, Phil? Who you think?
What let's see. Listen, if I was the New Orleans defense, did somebody tell them that Jalen Hurts runs?
No.
They must not have, because it's just, let's go.
Yeah.
And he's looking, well, if you're going to make me run, I'm going to run. So my point being is, New Orleans defense, you're right, has played so well. They're very good up front. They got a pretty good secondary. It's playing well, Marshawn Lattimore and all that. But their up front defense is what makes it go. And DeMario Davis.
Oh, wow.
He wipes everything up.
I love that.
So their defense has got to have an outstanding game. I mean outstanding.
That's right.
Compared to, not like, and why they have a chance is just because of what happened last week.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, so we all know this, right? Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he had an off day. That is what it is. But when you play the Kansas City Chiefs, give me 28 points on the scoreboard.
That's what you got to do.
You got to say, give me 28 points, and then let's work from there. Now, watch this. If you're the Saints, stop letting what Patrick Mahomes is doing to every other defense. This is to every defense in the National Football League. Stop letting Pat Mahomes out to his right-hand side. If you let Pat Mahomes out to his right-hand side, that's what makes him so deadly to get those balls downfield to Tyreek Hill. You have to make him scramble out left.
That's a great point. I have this issue too with the New Orleans defense. Can you play man-to-man coverage?
You can't
against them, and that's really tough. But if you play zone, he's going to pick it apart. But they do so much. The formations, the movement, the different plays. They change from week to week. They kind of cover up their offensive line. Then you put a mobile quarterback with maybe the greatest arm we've ever seen in the NFL. All these things. We're not even talking Kansas City Chiefs defense. It's big up front. Chris Jones is playing well. Tyrann Mathieu is getting those interceptions. And Taysom Hill, my last thing is, if Drew Brees was playing this game, Sean Payton, they would be nitpicking all over the field. And I would give a big edge to New Orleans.
Drew Brees is setting where Drew Brees is in his career.
Right.
I won't talk about me.
You saying that because you always talk about
I need you to listen to me right now. Where Drew Brees is in his career, right? He's at this unique place that now he has enough time.
Yes.
1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. When you have that much time at this point in your career to reflect on how you want to see the end. Drew Brees comes back healthy, takes the Saints on one more run. Drew Brees retires Super Bowl champ.
So, Brandon, let me come back to you, recognizing that every team in the league has had some unusual challenge, unlike any other challenges, because of the COVID-impacted environment. Teams are up and down. Do you think you're likely to see these two teams in Tampa in February?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those moments, this year is one of those moments where it comes down to leadership and chemistry and continuity. So 100%, they're playing really well, but they also have chemistry, continuity. They have the leaders in the locker room. They have the coaches to do it. So 100%, we can see this as a Super Bowl preview.
Ray?
Yeah, I just think it's a lot of people going to have a lot to say about that. You know, definitely from the AFC side. I mean, for the first time in 20 years, the Buffalo Bills have a new life inside of them. And Josh Allen, the way he's playing, and that defense, the way that they're playing, they can shake up the entire AFC. NFC, look, Green Bay is still sitting right there at the top of the, and Aaron Rodgers is saying
Tampa can get hot.
Tampa can get hot.
Great defense.
So I think we all have to see the way it plays out. But the bottom
and then
line,
also say Cleveland Browns too, because you said over there, you said that they're a contender.
Listen, but because of how they're playing football late in the year,
right,
and you can run the football and you can get there, you have a chance.
KC favored by 3.5. Who do you like?
Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with KC.
Kansas City.
You know what, Brett
he has
Favre
to
has
be
been at it,
careful.
16 years, and he is still a beast, though, to your point about the Packers. Hey, from the most...
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, what did I say?
Brett Favre. It's okay. You can bring Brett back.
Brett ain't played in 20 years.
Aaron Rodgers. And you know what, Brandon, sometimes that just kind of happens, you know? Hey, fellas, we just saw and heard from two of the oldest coaches in the league, and Bruce Arians and, of course, Pete Carroll. Now, in this age of young coaches, does it matter from your perspective? I know you guys keep your finger on the pulse of the situation of today's game. Does it make any difference if you've got an older coach, or are folks skewing more towards the younger, hipper, ever-evolving system young coaches?
100%. And to me, it's black or white. Like, you got to either go with the trendy young coach or you got to go with the older, Bruce Arians coach that comes in that demands respect. People will follow because of that. He's not into all the, the music and all the other things. Like, does he allow that stuff to happen? 100%, but that's not who he is. So when I look at, the younger side, like when I walked into the New York Giants facility, Coach McIndoe embraced that culture. I was shocked. Like, I walked into our team meeting and we had music blasting. And I'm like, what's going on? I had Odell and Sterling Shepard dancing. I wasn't used to that. So I think you got to go either or. Pete Carroll is kind of like, he's in a world of his own. He's like young, old. I don't know what Pete Carroll is, but that energy that you saw, he's like that every single day. Because, Ray, I was there in Seattle, one of my last cup of teas.
You was there 30 days.
You can't
learn Pete Carroll in 30 days.
A couple months.
Okay. Okay, so listen.
I'm listening.
Pete Carroll, Bruce Arians, to your point, the father figure, the greatest ingredient for leadership is respect.
Absolutely.
Right? So when you talk about what happens when Pete Carroll walks in, everybody pays attention.
Yes.
When Bruce Arians walks in, everybody pays attention. The thing with the young coaches is you can get away almost with anything because the young coaches are hip. Right? So they're like, oh, I understand it. Oh, play music as loud as you want to play it. No, you can do this. Just make sure you do your job. Yeah. So the difference is, and what this conversation is about these elders being respected so much. It's like walking in, I never forget it. It's like the first time I actually started recognizing how powerful Bill Cowher was when we was playing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes.
I was like, whew.
Yeah.
Man,
What did you see?
The respect. Sure. The respect. At Pro Bowls, just listening to how they're talking about this legendary coach from a respect side.
Ron Rivera, Mike Tomlin, Bill Belichick.
Yes.
Those are some of the, Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Those are some of the older, savvy head coaches that still get it done. Are they embracing the culture? 100%. But when they walk into that room, man,
you get tight.
quiet.
Because they are father.
Right.
They are father.
But this is why I said Pete Carroll is in a world of his own, is because Pete, He walk in, the meeting start at 8, he's standing in the front, and if you shooting hoops and you playing, he might come up there and shoot hoops with you.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Right.
Pete is just in a world of his own. And yes, Ray, I was there. I experienced it. It's something that I've never experienced before. No coach really embraced it this way.
Yeah, you know what? The coaches, the older coach, first off, I hate the cliche. Can they relate to the young guys? Young guys, all players are the same. If that coach can make them better, that's all they want. Make me better. I make more money. They talk about me more. That's what it's about. And, of course, when you're older and you're still coaching, people know and you have that respect. You know, that Pete Carroll is being Pete Carroll. I'll never forget, he made a statement. I coached the Jets and New England Patriots and tried to be a pro football coach. Then he went to USC and did what? He became him.
That's right.
And he took that same guy up to Seattle, and it's working. Bruce Arians is no nonsense. So when he walks in the room, you know, you just go, he's the man.
Yes.
Because he talks in a whole different language in a different way. So it can work many, many styles. And why are they still coaching, JB? One, they love it. They're great at it. They get paid well. We know that. But there's nothing. I'd say I talked to a lot of older coaches. Tom Moore, he's in his 80s. He's down in Tampa. Why are you still doing it? Got to walk on that field on Sundays, man. That's the thing. That's the drawing of all of them. They love it. They're good at it. But walking on that field on Sundays, we all know how great that is.
You speak about elders, but you and Pete the same age, right?
Me and Pete?
Yeah.
Close.
You know what? I don't know why they pick on you because you know I am. See, you know
He's
what I'm
older,
saying?
yeah.
Hey, look here, Phil. What about this? Do you recall the first time that you saw Bruce Arians on the field? You were in the same area and you looked across the field and saw Bruce Arians?
Yeah, I know. I said, is he any good?
Is that what you said?
I did think I said.
Oh, tight.
Is this the quarterback coach right there?
Yes,
Arians, is that his name?
Bruce Arians.
Where's he from?
Had been at Temple, had been at Alabama.
Has he coached quarterbacks his career? Is that his thing?
Yeah, been a coordinator and a head coach. Yeah.
Has he ever just coached quarterbacks though?
I'm not sure.
Boy, don't tell me Phil didn't get prepared for games, huh?
You haven't changed one bit.
Change one.
Anybody talk about the quarterback, boy, it's going to be problem.
He guys just asked like, has he ever? No. You know, coached quarterbacks before?
He
Have you ever?
had Peyton Manning. I said, is he any good? I want to know. You know, can you coach him?
Yeah.
So that's all I was trying to find
Brandon,
out.
so are you trying to say Phil gets fired up whenever he's talking about quarterbacks?
Listen,
No, I
anytime,
like about
listen, like,
everything.
look, for 7 years, been on this show, anytime I have any questions about the quarterback, I'm going to him. But he has a vision of what the quarterback position is supposed to look like, their approach, their whole process, and if you step outside of that, he's going to jump down your throat.
Man, come on, that's
you saw what happened
that's
in
an
the
MVP.
show.
Come on, MVP.
Hey, I heard you mention something about Seattle. At some point, we need to squeeze in a conversation about them because their quarterback, Steve Largent, he's doing a great job, isn't he?
Yeah, okay.
Steve Largent,
Yeah.
You trying to recover?
No, I'm trying to keep it going. That's what I'm doing. That's good. So the question is, can anyone chase down Chase Young?
Man, no.
No doubt about
That's a
it.
bad man. Young man.
Wow. Hey, and you know what? Speaking of asking the kind of perspicacious questions, I've got one that means it's time for Dear Insiders. Here it is. To Dear All, they got to include the old timer as well. I know you old timers have been around the block, so I'm hoping you can help me. I had to take care of some unexpected business last night for a couple of minutes. And the internet, boy, no pun intended, exploded. Have you ever had to take a quick break, Brandon, during a game or a TV show? Thanks in advance. Lamar from Baltimore. And here's the video. Ray, you said you know him too well. You can tell by the gait you know the brother so well.
Sore hamstrings.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's hamstrings. See, when you can't pick your heel up to your butt.
right.
Look, it's a good story, but if you go back to the video, you see a trainer running behind him. Yeah. If he was by himself, then I would say
Absolutely.
he probably went to do number 2, but there's a trainer running behind him that's going to administer the IV.
Yes.
So Lamar, just stick to the script. Don't even entertain social media.
Gotcha.
Yeah, look, man, the bottom line is I've had that situation before as far as having to get an IV, right? Because, you know, you just exert yourself and you just lose it all. And you saw him, and I'm telling you, you can tell the way he was running that he could not flex his hamstrings at a certain point. And so it took a while for the IV to get in, and then the young quarterback got hurt, and then he came back in on 4th down and 5 and turned into Magic Man. So it happens, but good thing he was able to come back.
Yeah, I never had to lead the field for that, but whatever, Lamar should do that every game because he comes out.
come back and play like that.
Oh my gosh, that was really it was awesome. Great story.
Hey, you know, the assistant executive producer of the program, Ray, told John Morales not to cut out the fact that I referenced Brett Favre. So maybe I should ask you, how are some of the young quarterbacks today, like Bobby Douglas and Jim Zorn?
Yeah, Jim Zorn, lefty.
How are they all doing right now?
They're doing well.
I was in the nursery when
Are
they
they
was playing.
are they wearing Skechers as well? Like, do you have a Skechers deal? Like, you chose those sneakers?
Hey, man, why not? I just want to be comfortable today. You've been making fun of me the whole year. Why do you wear dress shoes? And I said, you know what? I'm going to wear some tennis
Are they
shoes
comfortable?
today.
Are they comfortable?
They're very comfortable.
That's why you got them on.
That's good.
right.
I like
Yes,
it.
sir.
I like it.
Fellas,
Thank you.
happy Hanukkah to you guys
Same
as
to
well
you,
as to
JB.
all of our viewers. That wraps it up for us, folks.
doing,
We
Brandon?
thank you for watching. We'll see you next week on another edition of Inside the NFL right here on
Showtime.
Brandon, you don't like it? You don't like it?
봐주셔서 감사합니다.